Hey everybody, this is Dr. J, Professor Spike and Kamal, streaming live from Long Island, New York, and other vicinities. So, what do you think of the day's action on Wall Street? We've been giving background.
Yeah, all that jubilation was very short-lived.
Yeah, that's the
Like
word.
not
Short-lived.
spring.
It's back to the defensive stuff, consumer staples and energy and whatever.
Right.
No more mega cap tech. That was for one day only.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy with BCRX, ANVS, but then they gave everything back really quick.
Yeah. What about Bitcoin? I mean, buy, sell, or hold on that. I mean, Kathy Wood added a lot of GBTC to her funds.
Well,
She's buying the
it's going to be
trust,
the one winner.
the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And
I mean,
does that make me more sure or less sure? More conviction or less? Considering her track record lately.
I know. Well, sometimes a broken clock is right too. Every now and then.
Twice a day, right?
Twice a day.
So that's basically
Michael
a lot of the
upset
Bitcoin stuff
about the FTX meltdown in crypto. The FTX caused it all, and who knows what other players are also taking unnecessary risk with investors' money.
It's because FTX was involved in that, and it was sort of having two goals at once, right? It was being a currency, but it was also being used to fund this guy's company. So that's a bit.
Yeah,
you can't say GDP is doing the same thing.
The sister company, Alamar, whatever.
Right. So.
And now there may be other players that are also a little, taking advantage of whatever they can take advantage of, including, we don't know about Coinbase for that matter. This is an unregulated industry.
Yeah, how much of what do they hold?
Yeah.
If they're only holding Bitcoin and only holding Ethereum, then I'd be pretty happy.
Another big player that had a run they had a run that couldn't handle all the withdrawals of crypto, and they had to freeze all accounts for a little while. I forget the name. So there's a lot of unrest and turmoil in the crypto market.
What happened with AABB? Are they still in this business?
They're in existence, and they're trying different things. They're playing with NFTs now.
Oh boy!
Not a good sign,
that other company of yours that you like, Streamline or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it's not a good sign that they're playing with NFTs. Hey, Arjun's with us.
Hey.
First of all, congratulations! I understand you've now joined the flock.
Yeah, condolences.
Yeah, here's the proof.
Oh, look at that!
You got the ring around your neck. Is it around your nose or your finger?
It's around
around the neck.
Around my you're calling it a noose. A noose.
You're now shackled. Shackled? What's the word?
Shackled.
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 Nah, it all feels the same for now.
So how was the wedding? Was it a big affair?
Yeah, it was a big fat Indian wedding.
Did you have the horse?
Had the horse. Yep. It was it was a lot of fun. But I'm glad it's over.
Well, the Indian weddings tend to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean they like
as long
to
as
party.
As long as you're not the one getting married.
Yeah,
right.
The dance floor at the end was the best part. The rest, I felt like I should have had a cardboard cutout of myself, and then everyone could just take pictures with that.
Right.
Yeah. So now that you're a married man, you're not fooling around with biotech. You're being more responsible.
I don't know if it's because of marriage. I think I'm just scared. I'm just a scared man.
I know, right? The days of 1,000 here, 10,000 there, 15,000 there are over.
Are you joining those who say that Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to go down the tubes?
The way I see it is, I mean, what happened was crazy. It was like Lehman Brothers-esque. But the difference, I think, is it's just one exchange, and it's contained within a group of people that kind of fell for it. They got. But I don't think you're going to have the ripple effects of the whole thing goes down the drain. I think there might be more downside, but yeah, I don't think it's...
Would you be a buyer of Bitcoin at this point?
No, I'm waiting. I think there's a little bit more down, but
Wow.
yeah.
Would you consider any other crypto besides Bitcoin?
I think Ethereum, but other than the main two, I think this was a big warning sign that I just don't think there's a value proposition for them in terms of a use case. I think it's still just you're buying it because you think it's oversold and you think there's a bounce and this and that. But I think that people should be scaling in slowly at this point. I don't think this was a huge buy the fear thing. I think this is things are going to get really bumpy now.
Do you disagree with Kathy Wood's move, buying tons of the Greystone Bitcoin Trust?
I think I just disagree with everything she does at this point.
She's only down 70-80% for the year.
She is taking it on the chin this year more than anyone except Tom Brady, because he lost his wife and he lost all the FTX stuff.
And yet he had a wonderful game the other day.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe he needed the wake-up call.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who knows? Because it all came back.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Allen.
25 seconds, that's like an hour.
Allen in overtime led the Buffalo Bills. It looked like to a winning touchdown drive. Instead, he throws an interception into the end zone. That was a terribly ill-advised pass.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady never would have done that.
Correct. Josh Allen is fantastic, but he still has those end-of-game jitters.
Yeah, he's not Tom Brady, that's for sure.
I think anybody can win it this year. It's wide open.
Peyton Manning wouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Joe Montana wouldn't have done that.
Ben Roethlisberger wouldn't have done that.
Even Joe Theismann wouldn't have done that.
Well, wait a second. There was something famously happened in the Super Bowl where somebody threw like a little dink over into the end zone and the other team caught it.
Russell Wilson.
That was Seattle.
I was waiting for you to say Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Seattle against
San Francisco.
Against
the
Tom
Patriots.
Brady,
Yeah, that was Malcolm Butler. He won Super Bowl MVP for that pick. Yeah.
Well, something similar happened in the Bills game. To get into overtime, they had a fumble at the half-yard line. They fumbled.
Right.
They fumbled the snap. We're getting off the beaten trail. Let's talk about NWBO a little bit. Then we'll talk energy.
Yeah, let's do some
energy, huh?
Well, NWBO, I sent everybody the link to the article from the journal, right?
Yeah, I read it. Fantastic stuff. Thanks for sharing that. It's very exciting.
Yeah, as Heath points out, it's in the Journal of American Medical Association Oncology magazine, journal, whatever it's called.
Yeah, glioblastoma is the big one too, so this is a big deal.
And it's phase 3 results. I forget how many patients, but over a long period of time they studied it.
I think it was a 331 person study, which is huge for something like GBM.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think Medicare covers this drug if it gets approved?
Yeah, I think so. As someone who works, I work kind of in that space. I think it does.
Because it's only 3 months extension. It's going to cost a lot of money for 3 months.
Yeah, but I think that the pressure within the community and just the story, the narrative surrounding it makes it a very compelling, quick approval.
Well, right. When it becomes
Probably.
the standard of care, which probably is going to take a little while.
I mean,
Right.
look what happened with Biogen. They got their Alzheimer's drug approved, and
Yeah.
Medicare said tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, nobody wanted to pay for that snake oil.
It really was not safe, and it was an ill-advised approval. But
Yeah,
what do
that
you think of the new Biogen drug? Partners with elsay. Their PDUFA is early January, and it looks like a sure thing approval.
Yeah. I got to catch up. I have no idea with all
Oh, you
this.
haven't been following. Well,
Yeah.
they have really good results, and the problem is there are side effects that could be severe, and they got to measure that against the outstanding results.
Yeah.
It reverses cognition loss to a certain extent. And even though there were 14% of side effects, they say that the brain swelling was not usually severe. It was brain swelling and also some cases of hemorrhage. Doesn't sound great, but
Really?
Yeah.
but better than the
Sounds like
previous
that comedy
drug
routine again.
that got approved. So I think it's a sure thing to get approved, and that means it'll probably pop 25% in January upon approval,
Okay.
just like it did the last time. Went up 100 points the last time, right? From 300 to 400 or 250 to 400.
Yeah, it was huge.
Now it's trading at about 300. It'll probably go to 400. The
Sounds-
other
sounds-
one, SI, is $60 a share, 17 billion market cap. That one should double. They're full
Mhm.
partners.
Hmm.
So Biogen has a much larger market cap. They'll go up 25%.
Right.
Now Lilly has got an Alzheimer's drug in the pipeline. It's probably better than this one,
One
but
would think.
that won't happen till the end of 23.
Are you still in these the smaller Alzheimer's plays like the Savas of the world and the?
Yeah, I have a lot of Sava. I have a lot of Innovis. I have a fair amount of Anavex. I sold my Longeveron, but I might get back into it.
The Nova seems like it's just been sideways for months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's going to be a while till they start the trial. The Parkinson's trial is enrolling now, and I think they're going to begin dosing in January. So it'll be done in June
Okay.
of 23. It'll be done.
So
And then
there's
they'll
time.
evaluate the results and probably do a data readout at the end of 23.
So there's time. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sava
Now-
chart actually looks
Now,
better.
the
to
same
me.
problem with Sava. They're in the middle of their phase 3. They're doing okay in enrollment, but there's really no catalyst in sight. So
Yeah.
one of the
They
brokers
were downgraded.
lowered their
Yeah.
lowered
Yeah, they
their
were
rating to
downgraded.
neutral.
But
They put
I
a
like the
$45
chart.
target.
I like the Sava chart better than the Innovis one, honestly.
Yeah.
Looks a little nicer.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a lack of immediate catalysts for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think come January 6th or whatever it is, when the Biogen drug is approved, as I expect it will, I think it'll give the whole group a lift.
That's what it usually does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a good play to buy some Innovis, buy some, and I don't know, buy a little of everything. What is it? ACIU is another one.
I mean, you're talking about the little guys, right?
Yeah, buy the little guys. Longeveron. I think Longeveron went to over 20 on the Biogen news last time. And Longeveron is about $4 a share.
Mm.
All right, so anyway, let's talk energy.
Yeah, I'll chart a few. I have a meeting at 5:45, so I can stay on for about 15 minutes.
All right, so let's do it. You want me to throw a chart up of PBR?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've this has been my top play of the last 4 months just because of the dividends alone. It's paid $2.60 in dividends just since I bought in July, which is it's pretty impressive given that the stock itself only costs about $10-11, and that's 1 quarter worth of dividends. So that equates to almost like a 90% yield. Obviously, that's not sustainable, but they just announced another dividend of $1.30. So when you combine those two, you're at about $3.90.
Wow.
Is it a buy right now?
It is a buy right now for me, my opinion, strictly my own.
For a while.
But yeah, I think it's been kind of in this upward channel that it bounces up and down and up and down, and it's at the lower end of that channel, and so I buy. And the ex-div date, which for those who don't know, that's the date you have to own the stock to get the dividend. It's actually next week.
Oh, really?
I bought some after I texted with you.
Yeah, and it's been a roller coaster. I mean,
I picked up some today.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm not.
You're right. It is a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, but so the dips coincide with dividends being paid out, basically. So it's not the whole story, but what I like about it is the oil prices have kind of stayed relatively stagnant recently, which is still well above where they need to be at in order to make money. And so, I mean, I think there's a very solid bottom near these levels based on the last time it touched these levels.
Well, okay, we're coming to the cold part we're coming to the winter. We're coming to a possible embargo of Russian oil to right in Europe.
Yep.
And Russia's threatening to cut off the Bering Strait so nobody can get anything.
Correct. And Andrew has a comment here about the political risk. There is no political risk for the next dividend. You're correct that they are arguing about it, but because there hasn't been a transition of power yet, the dividend has been approved. It's going to be ex-div next week, and it's going to be paid out in two iterations, 65 cents end of December, 65 cents end of January. Taxes will get taken out, so you don't have to pay those after the fact. But what it comes down to is you're getting $1.30 for 1 quarter worth of dividend on an $11.50 stock. It's really good.
10% for a quarter?
Yeah, more. Well, yeah, and actually a little, like 12%, sure, yeah.
You also, according to the chart, tested support and held.
Yeah, I'd like to see it hold, obviously, again. A break of that isn't great, but, that ex-div date, I think, should lead to a little bit of good price action. So at the very least, if you want to play it short term, take the dividend and run. That's a quick 12% for you for basically doing nothing. And
usually there's some negative reflection of that when it goes ex-div in the stock, isn't there?
That's right. But so the last time they went ex-div, you can see that was very clearly mid-August. You see that red candle mid-August, and then it gapped down, but then it quickly rebounded. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no guarantee that anything's going to happen after the ex-div date in a negative direction or positive direction. It's kind of just the day of ex-div, it sold off the exact amount of dividend it paid, but then it quickly got right back up. So
this is your number one play, or EC is your number one
this
play?
is my top play in the entire market. It has paid me very well, and I will hold it essentially until there's a good reason not to.
That would be PBR.
PBR is my top pick in the whole market. everything.
And EC is just something that you're first getting into?
EC, I'm scaling into, they pay a 25% dividend once a year. So they pay about $2.30 once a year. That'll be coming up in February. They're just trading sideways right now, and so you have time. I think I'm just buying dips.
When do they go ex-div?
It's not going to be till next year.
What part of next year?
Probably end of January, early February.
So that's not that far.
It's not that far. I think it's a good time to get in, mostly because their last earnings were blowout. They're trading at a PE of just south of 3. For example, Exxon trades at about a 10 on that PE. PBR trades at about a 3. Valero trades at about a 7. So
it has a nice little trend line going for it.
Yeah. And I think that you're going to mostly see sideways action here for 30 to 45 days. But I think that as soon as they announce that dividend, I think that my personal price target here is that gap fill back up to 14.
You like it up. Yeah, I see what he's talking about.
I like it to get to 14, and maybe that's the time that it goes ex-div. I personally am looking for about $2 in dividends and $2 in share price. That's going to be why it gets to 14.
Again, let me remind people that these plays are on the risky side, and our opinions is nothing more than that. They're strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Do your own due diligence, check with an advisor before acting on anything we suggest or say. We're not suggesting that anybody buy it. Arjun is just merely saying what he's doing.
Correct. Yep. I do not recommend anything explicitly, but yeah, I'm doing that. And I think these stocks are just way too cheap. In
general, most of the time when we talk about stocks that we own, we're just saying what we're doing with them.
Yeah.
Or if we're buying them. Occasionally I take requests and just look at the chart.
Yeah. And what I like about PBR too, they have weekly options. So I've been selling covered calls to get a couple cents here and there, and it adds up.
So you're looking to squeeze as much out of it as possible.
Yeah, it's already given me about 40 to 45%, and I want to try to double it before I'm out. I mean, I think I can.
I just want to go back and look at BTC one more time before we look at the chart for new nwbo.
Yeah, I'll be on for 5 more minutes so I can talk a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you want to zoom out here, right? Because this is a low that I don't have. You have any reference points? Or
it doesn't matter. You see that we had the big drop, and now we're trading within that interval, that daily interval.
Right.
It looks to me like there's a lot of consolidation going on here, and that $16,000 level should hold, according to the little picture that I see.
Yeah, but my only problem with personally assuming things like that will hold, I've seen it flag like that and then break to the downside quite a bit. And for me, it's based on historical levels. Just for me personally, like I would like to see.
I mean, historical levels are like the S&P. The S&P was $2. Don't forget.
I'm not talking about ancient history. I just like to see zoomed out. Does 16,000 matter? Yeah. See, I think this helps a bit because 16,000 was a breakout point in 2021. So I think that helps me feel a little better about maybe adding a bit here, because anything below that, there's a very strong level of sideways movement.
I think we were at 4,000 in 2020, weren't we?
Well, after that COVID flash crash, yeah. I mean,
wow.
But yeah, I mean, I can see your argument here. I'm not. I mean, it was a pretty high volume sell off there, so I don't think people are going to be rushing to get back into this. But sure, I would nibble. I would buy a little here. personally, I'm a little scared to go in heavy here because I think you could still get another little bit of downward action, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like an area of support. Let me draw that. There's one more area I want to draw in. Below where we're trading.
Yeah, that's okay. See, that level I feel pretty darn comfortable with.
You're looking at 12.5 roughly.
Yeah. So I think if you scale in that range you just drew, you'll thank yourself in a year or two.
I think so too. I think you know, Kathy Wood and Michael Saylors of the world, and Elon Musk's of the world. They're talking Bitcoin 1 million by 2030.
Even 100,000 would be nice.
Well, by 2030, 1 million is not outrageous.
That's true, but even if it's only 100K, you 6x in a bunch of years. I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that I'm very happy to wait and see what it does in this next range and not rush.
You know, it already ran to 90,000 at one point.
I think it was 60s or 70s. Yeah, it
Didn't
was
hit
high.
90? I thought it hit
No,
90.
no, if you zoom out, I'm pretty sure it was high 60s.
I'll take your word for it.
If you zoom
Not
out.
the mood to zoom in or out too much. All right, let's see.
Yeah, about 65.
68,000.
That's a very healthy move up, but then, you know, you see that it's got a long ways to go to even try to get to 30. So yeah, I think
I'm of the opinion that if 16,000 holds here, within a year we're going to be trading at 30,000 plus.
that's fair.
And if 16,000 doesn't hold, I think we will test the 12,500 area.
Yeah, and then like the only reason I'm scared here is because of how crazy this event was. I just want to make sure I'm adding big here just in case we do actually test something below 10, because there's no guarantee that that 12.5 level is super strong. I mean, I think it should be, but 10 is where I'd start to personally feel a little better. That's all.
So do you like the rocket ship type behavior that you see on Northwest Bio lately? I'm on the weekly.
I mean, this is nice.
I'm gonna
I
go
can
to
stay
the
on for
daily.
another minute or two and I got to hop off. But yeah, this is, I would like to see that candle a little thicker, but yeah, it's still nice.
You notice
But
it hit a dollar.
deflated really
It hit
fast.
over. I think it went over $1.20 today until it closed at $1.04. Gave back a lot, and I would expect, or I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of short BS article tomorrow.
I'll buy the dips here though. This looks constructive.
Yeah, definitely. But I could easily foresee a short attack.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, if you missed today, that's a good point. There's no need to chase yet.
The argument being, it'll probably be approved, but then will Medicare pick it up if it's only extending life by 3 months or whatever?
Yeah. Hey, I actually got to hop off, but I'll try to come on more. This is fun.
All right, good to see you. And I guess I got to wish you big congratulations on getting married.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations and best of luck, man.
Thank you. But yeah, I'll come on more. Things are starting to slow down. So.
All
right. Take care.
Take care. What else was on our agenda or on people's mind?
I would like to go over Amazon one more time, BCRX.
Okay, let's look at Amazon.
People are asking about CRISPR, Blue.
There's so many of our favorites, huh? Amazon is hit. What did it hit? It hit in the 80s back here on 11.9 and went tried to go back up to the recent top on 1031, but it failed. 104. I never got to 104. I got to 103.79, close. And it's giving back again. And how far down it goes, I don't know. Will it make another fresh new low? I don't know. It looks like it very well may, but this is a choppy market. We could get a huge rally tomorrow, for all I know. So the Fed speak is not helped. I think one of the Fed governors, was it Bullard? I always get confused. He was talking 7% terminal rate, and that the market don't want to hear. But Fed keep going until they hit 7%. That's yucky. The expectation is for 5 or 5.25%. So, and also the job report was pretty healthy. Very low unemployment. Very few filings for unemployment insurance. So, good news is bad news in this economy, in this Fed situation. So Amazon is reflecting that, reflecting the overall environment. Nothing more. So quality stock, quality company, buy the dips, save a little money to buy a little more, keep buying. But I wouldn't just buy Amazon. I'd buy Google, Amazon, Apple. Yeah, I'd buy them all. NVIDIA. Yeah, I'd buy the dips. Buy the dips. Adobe. Buy the dips. Adobe, we looked at it when it was like in the twos, and it made a phenomenal run after we looked at it. I should have loaded up on it. I almost pulled the trigger and I didn't. But we were looking at it pretty low down in the twos. It got to 278. And look at the run it made. It topped out at 350. That's a beautiful run. Of course, now it looks like it's going down with market, although it had a green candle today. Not a bad candle, even though it finished negative on the day. It's a beautiful looking green candle. Came back at the end of the day. Adobe is acting good lately. Wanted to look at BIIB. We talked about Biogen, but we didn't look at the chart. Biogen gapped up. 292 looks like it's the gap fill area and support. 292. The actual gap is a little lower, probably 289. I could see it retesting that 290 level. And if so, I think it's worth a gamble. At 290, where it is now, it's worth a gamble. But at 290, it's better worth the gamble. I think it hits 400 if approved. All right, so I think we were on a long time, and we didn't cover everything, but we did cover a lot. So, what, you have one more for me, or did I call it a quits?
CRISPR?
Which one?
CRISPR.
CRISPR. Oh boy, it topped out at $64 after running from 48 recently. It made a huge run. Now it looks like it wants to give back at least half of it. So what would be from half, 48 to 64 is 14.7 less than 64 would be 57. Right where it is about the midway point. I think this might be it. If the market is healthy, we should see some green in this one. That's my opinion. All right, so and I think it's a great stock long term. So that's it for today. I want to thank everyone for coming. Kamal, thank you. Arjun and Professor Spike, thank you. Chucky is with us. Heath is with us. Mop Bucket is with us. Indubitably is with us. Heath is with us. And Heath has been saying NWBO, been buying for 4 years. Very good, Heath. All right, so we had Andrew's with us. So we had a usual group. Good to see everybody. We'll try to come on more often. Have a good weekend, Kamal.
You too, guys. Take care. Bye.
Keep the faith.